Catching up with head coach Darren King on IceHogs Media Day. Coach King, you just had a pretty thrilling, hard-fought victory over the Chicago Wolves. Now you get to do it all again, this time in their building, a part of a two-game set. What's the mentality like now after you had a very physical affair between these two teams? Certainly tempers and frustrations got to boiling points for both sides. Now you go into a rematch. Do you try and scale back on all of that, or you look for the same amount of intensity?
No, I'm looking for the same intensity. The same compete. I mean, it's hard not to get, tempers boil over when you play them so many times, right? They're a good hockey team. They've been a good hockey team all year, and then now they're a good hockey team, and we got to go into their building and play. Not everybody likes to go into Chicago's building, whether it's the practice rink or the All-State. So I just want our guys to compete like they have the past two games against them. And we'll go from there.
The IceHogs again off to a great start. You've scored the game's opening goal in each of the last 5 games. So that's been a big bright spot. Is it the letting the foot off the gas pedal, or is it the team on the other side of the ice being able to adjust and accommodate that has found yourselves to be in closer games than you'd imagine when you get off to such a quick start?
Yeah, you always think as a coach, you nail one in the net right away. You think, oh, this could be the night where we roll up 6 or 7 goals. But no, that's not our team. We got to win games 3-2 or overtime wins or shootouts. That's the way we have to play, and that's the way the mindset has to be. But I would love a 7-0, 7-2 game, cruising into the third and feel comfortable. But I mean, this is where we get our playoff atmosphere type hockey, because we're in tight games. We're playing good hockey teams, and we have to be on our game.
Today opens up a 4-game road trip for the IceHogs, stops in Iowa and Grand Rapids before you make a brief stop home. Pretty much for the final 10 games of the season, Coach, you're going to be living life on the road, which is a bit of a different grind. We have seen with now Dave game travel and having to go a little distance, Hoffman Estates aside. What kind of messages and mentality are you talking about in the locker room to keep that intensity high, knowing that it's going to be a couple of long days ahead of you?
Yeah, sometimes that's hard to keep the intensity, especially when you travel the day of the game. Obviously, Hoffman Estates isn't too far, so you can't count that. I think that's pretty much a home game for both teams when they come here or we go there. But going to Iowa the day of the game to play, that's hard to get up for it. We'll take some extra bodies. We can rotate some guys in for the second game and be a little fresher, but still, it's going to be tough. But this is where they figure out how to be good pros and learn to motivate themselves.
And we talked a little bit about it the last time we caught up, but you do have 10 games left in the season as it stands right now. What are you trying to accomplish in these final 10 games, looking at a bigger picture, especially with so much time away from the rink, maybe not as much practice time as you would like, because once these 10 games are up, it can be a summer of any given length, and who knows, you might be able to coach and see these guys again.
Yeah, who knows exactly. But I think the big thing here is the guys we think we're going to get back, or for sure getting back. Obviously they got to stay in the lineup. It's the other group that, we want to see them to make a decision on them at the end of the year. It's not the perfect situation, especially for these guys. They've worked hard so long all year. It's not always perfect, but they understand. They maybe get in another 3-4 games and they're going to have to perform. So maybe they're on the list of guys we bring back.
And I might be stepping on Scott's toes here, talking about a playoff-like atmosphere mentality. The Blackhawks are right in the thick of things too. Do you try and tap into that intensity, especially with guys that have gone back and forth a whole lot? Whether there's postseason hockey in the American Hockey League, could be moot point if you can contribute and compete possibly for a Stanley Cup here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, stranger things happen, but they're probably going to need players to be called up. Whether it's a taxi squad or the Black Aces, as we call them. When our season's done, if they're in the playoffs, they're going to need some bodies. So it's a good time for some of these guys with NHL contracts to show that they're ready to go if needed or called upon.
Scott Leber, your line is open, sir.
Hi, Coach. I didn't catch your post-game Saturday night, but just want your thoughts on Nalimov and the effort he gave and the poise he showed in that shootout.
Yeah, he was good. I liked his game. Even him and Kale, they just they're relaxed in that net. Sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes the goalies can show some nerves, but these guys were good, both of them. And Ivan is, it was good to see him get a win. And again, 10 games left. Tom Auburn's down playing some games in Indy. Not sure if he'll come back soon, but the other two are just going to rotate them around, and one plays, the other one backs up, and we'll just keep switching them out. And like the forwards, indeed, we get a chance to see these guys and see what they can do.
All wins are equal in weight, but to watch your guys come up with that kind of an effort where first they come back and then they show that poise in the overtime and the shootout, does that make wins like that even more impressive in your eyes?
Yeah, it's always nice to see your guys battle like that. We like to take credit for that as coaches. That was all coaching, but no, they battled. They've from day one to now, they've come a long way. They're a team, and I've talked about it before. We're not quite a team yet, but we're a team now, and they showed that in the last couple games. They got each other's back, and they're in this, trying to win hockey games.
And you guys took a season high 41 shots on goal. Was that just in the flow of the game, or was there something conscious about that, or are things just flowing better now that the guys have had a chance to play together for several weeks?
Yeah, I think playing together too is, and I'm not afraid to mix up some lines. These guys, I'm probably driving them nuts. They play a couple games with the same line, and then I'll break them up to put guys in different situations. But I think it's just we're working and competing hard, so we're getting the puck a little more, and that gives us opportunities to shoot more. I like for us to continue to do that, and like Joey Z said, let's not put our foot off the gas pedal. Let's just keep building off of what we've done here in the last month.
Can you point out a guy or two who you've been impressed with the strides that he has made from the start of this season up to this point? Are there one or two guys who you can say, yeah, this guy has made the most of his opportunities so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've all done it in a certain way. I like Barrett. I think he's really come a long way from, even through the prospect camps we've had over the years to now. You always wonder, is he good enough to play at this level? Because I think a lot of guys have they come into this star players at college, star players in junior, they're over in Europe, and then they find out that this is a good league. So the adjustment level is a little different. But a guy like Barrett, I'm looking at my board here. Obviously, NC and Johnny that's who they are. They've made some strides too. But a kid that's really, really opened my eyes is Buzz Decker. He comes in on an American League deal, starts the season in Indy. You never know if he's going to come back up or not, or we have room. But when he did come back up, he took full advantage of it, and he's probably one of our biggest surprises of the season.
Kind of describe the contact or communication would be the better word between you and the staff down in Indianapolis. How free flowing is that? How often do you talk? Kind of take us through that, or you leave all that up to Bernie and the other guy?
Well, Bernie does a lot of the talking too, but I've talked to Dougie about players coming down, or if we're calling somebody up, we always in communication just to see what type of player is he, where should I put him, and vice versa. We'll send him guys, and he'll want to know, is he a power play guy, PK guy, what kind of character he is. So we don't talk every day, but we talk, once or twice a month, and it's good communication. Dougie does a great job with those guys down in Indy.
The big news here in town a week ago, I think it was last week, my weeks are running together, but the Blackhawks purchasing the franchise. I don't even know if that impacts you in any way or not, or the players, or that's on anybody's radar at all. Does that even matter to the players and the coaches?
No, we just go about our business. Obviously, the Wirtz family and the Hawks have given us that, what's the word I'm looking for? But they've given us the opportunity to work with these kids. A lot of teams, can't afford to, but they know they're investing money in these players to make them better and get them ready for the Hawks. So on top of that, now they come in and take over the franchise. I think it's great for Rockford. I think they're going to put some money into the building and clean up a few things. And, at least, as a coach or even as a player that you're going to be here for a while if this is where you end up.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Brandon Kane, I see your hand is up. Your line is active, sir.
Hey, Derek, I saw that Regula played his first game in almost a month, not too long ago. Was there an injury that caused that, or was that just taxi squad movement up and down?
Yeah, he was taxi squad up and down. And then when he did come back and he was, he kind of got banged up a little bit in practice where it's just stiff shoulders and stuff like that. So again, we have the luxury to take our time with these players. Obviously, we want to see him play every game, but it's a grind. There's no point of putting a guy in a situation where he may re-injure it or make it even worse. So we just kept him off and made sure he was strong and ready to go physically and mentally. I mean, he sits a month and plays. He was probably one of the best players on the ice, if not the best player on the ice. So I think I was talking to Anders, or maybe we send him for once a month. We just let him play one game and he'll have a hell of a season.
What are you hoping to see from him these last 10 games of the season?
Well, just to keep building off his last game. Like, he's raised the bar, right? I sometimes I joke with these guys saying, well, you messed it up now because now you showed me what you can do. And so just picking away at it gradually. But he came out with a game like that, and I know how he should be playing every night, and that's how he should be playing every night if he wants to make it to the next level. So I love for him to just build off of that and continue to be consistent.
And how have you seen Krudel kind of progress these last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he's taken advantage of getting some ice time. I mean, you know, it might take him a little longer to develop than say Rags or say Isaac Phillips or Moberg or what have you. It might take him a little longer. He's still a kid. He's the youngest, I think, on the team. He's like a 02 birth year. I mean, I got kids at 2000 and an 07, so he's not that far in between both of them. So, but I like where he's at. I mean, this is a good opportunity for him. Even if he sits a couple, plays a couple, sits a couple, it's the off-ice stuff that's going to help him a lot, the training. And so when these guys leave at the end of the year, they know where they should be and what they need to do over the summer.
How beneficial is it for Chad Yetman to get those games in Indy and then come back up here and be able to play?
Yeah, it's great. You know, I rewarded him for going down and being a good sport. Sometimes players don't want to go down to Indy or the East Coast, but he went down there and played hard for Dougie. And we said when he comes back up, we'll put him in a game. And he did fine. Is he ready for the American Hockey League? Maybe not on a consistent basis, but he knows what he needs to do over the summer. He's going to have a real good summer and work on his strength. But great kid. He's got a lot of upside to him, and I'm looking forward to having him back next year.
Now, how do you plan to balance the workload net between Cal and Matt down the stretch?
We kind of have a plan of just a rotation. We don't tell the goalies anything like that because then they get a little comfortable. But we'll rotate them unless somebody gives us a reason why we can't play him again. Like we have to put him back in. He's played so well. But 10 games left. There should be 5 games each, roughly, unless we give Tommy that's down in Indy a couple of games. So we'll see.
Thanks, Derek.
Yep.